Hi, I'm Ray Kelly with Minuteman Empire Automation Systems, and today we're going to discuss how to integrate communication between Zebra's Design Assistant software and an external controller. For this video, we'll be integrating using Ethernet IP, but Profinet, CC-Link, OPC UA, and TCP IP are available. If you look at my screen here, I have Control Center open, and I'm going to use milconfig. That's going to allow me to set up some of this information and communication between this EV7 controller and my robot. I'll go to my Ethernet IP tab, and here you'll see that I have an instance already created, but I'll make a new one. So I hit the add button, and then you'll see here I get a chance to name my instance. I can name that whatever I like, and I'm going to select the interface. With the EV7 controller, there are many Ethernet ports, so this menu is just showing me which option do I want to select for communicating with Ethernet IP. LAN 1 is currently connected between my robot and this EV7. Here, you can adjust the producer and consumer size if you want to adjust the size of the I's and the O's between your controller and your robot. So you'll see in my case, I have 168 on one side and 64 on the other, and I'm going to want to make sure that I match that with my PLC or robot on the other side. To this point, LAN 1 interface, what is the IP address of that interface? So if I go down to my network connections and go to this screen here, I can right-click on LAN 1, go to Properties, go to IPv4, select Properties, and you'll see that I have this IP address of 192.168.100.30 selected. So I can use that information in the future so I know what to target with my controller. Another piece of useful information is the EDS file. If you're looking to jumpstart your project, you can go to your install directory for your Design Assistant, and if you go to mil, config, and Ethernet IP, you can see this EDS file. So I will use this file in my other controller, in my case, the ABB robot, to help jumpstart some of the information for the Ethernet IP communication. So let's go to Design Assistant so you can see a project I have established. This is a demonstration project that we have for a trade show, but if I go up to Project and I go to Configure Ethernet IP, you'll see this menu. So here you'll see that Ethernet IP is enabled. I have the instance selected, which is Ethernet IP1. If I had more than one of these in there, maybe LAN 2 or PoE port 1, that would be selectable there. And my quick comm. So by default, there is information that the controller is set up to send automatically, and that's that quick communication button. You can disable it or enable it as you choose. But here you'll see a bunch of I/O predetermined. If I go down to data from PLC, you're seeing this information I'm receiving from my PLC, from my robot, my external control device. So I'm going to need the X and Y value in the future for calibration, and that's why that's there. And other parameters like what am I looking for? What's the diameter? What's the length of that? These are going to be specific to your project. And what do I want to send to the PLC? Well, I want to send out the location of that product. What is the X and Y and rotation of it? Other helpful things is the actions menu. So in here, you'll see what do I want the EV7, my DA software, to do when I start the flowchart, or when my inspection starts, or when the inspection ends. So this is all going to help handshake between the two systems. Again, in my case, the robot and the camera. If you don't have an industrial protocol on your system, you can also use OPC UA or network interface to sort of set up a LAN connection for TCP IP. You can go to robots and you can go add. And here you see a list of robots: ABB, Denso, Epson, Fanuc, KUKA, Staubli. So you can select one of those options and configure it for TCP IP. So I'm going to use Robot Studio to confirm the connection between my controller and my robot, and open that up. So Robot Studio is right here. Here's this menu from ABB Robot Studio showing I/O that I've established, and I'm going to use the browser system. If you type in the IP address of the camera, you can see this, and you go to Comms, Ethernet IP, and you want to make sure you have the right instance selected. Here's that producer size and that consumer size, and you'll see that it's reporting online. I'm getting that same information on my Robot Studio side, and you'll see a bunch of numbers down here for like product type. So if I were to change this from a 3 to a 1, and change this 111 to a 222, I'm able to see this update live. And this is helping me confirm that I have alignment between my I's and my O's in the system. Other things to watch out for are firewalls. So between the PC system, DA can run on any software or any PC you want. I'm running it on a vision controller at the moment, but we want to make sure the firewalls are not blocking this. I'm going to go over to IO engineering, which is specific to APB, just to kind of show you some additional settings. So in this IO engineering menu, you see you have the ability to import an EDS device. So I can do that here, and you'll see Matrox 2.0 EDS. So this is the notepad file that I opened up earlier that has information regarding Ethernet IP. Let's maximize that from our view. So if I go to my scanner, I can go to my devices over here and see a list of devices that I can bring in. So I'm going to bring in this Matrox device, and you'll see it popped up there. I'm going to go over to the properties of that device, and I want to punch in that IP address I found earlier. Also make sure to respect the size of your bytes going in and out. So I think this is 168, just quick check there. Yep, 168 and 64 are how I want that done. So make sure you have all this information correctly documented and installed here. And once that's all ready, you'll be able to confirm, like I just did before, with your device that communication is working. So I'll delete this one and then to show you this one, right? So this is the one that's actively working. And here's all the IOs that have mapped between the two systems. And if I go back here, just showing you more information than before. And that's really it. So this concludes the process of integrating communication between Aurora Design Assistant and a robot. In the next video, we'll show you how to calibrate the camera and robot system. If you have any other questions about DA or have automation needs, please reach out to Minuteman Empire Automation System. Thank you.